Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are back with our wellness retreat leader. Her name is Jessica Van Antwerp, and she's joining us again here live today on the podcast, also on Zoom, to talk about her amazing retreat company that's helping so many people, especially with their mind, body, soul, and relaxation. So, Jessica, please introduce yourself to everyone today.
Hi, Jill. Thanks so much for having me again. As Jill mentioned, I'm the owner of a wellness retreat company called Integral Travel. Our goal is just teaching you natural ways to help your body heal and to unlock your body's natural capacity to heal itself.
And you're based out of Boulder, Colorado, but people from all over the world come around for your retreats, and you're working with them. Could you explain the types of retreats you offer, and also specific, you do one-on-ones as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So the retreats that we offer are wellness focused, but they offer a variety of different wellness practices. So it's not like just a yoga retreat where that's like the only kind of wellness activity that we're doing. We really focus on 8 tenets of wellness in our retreats, again, to kind of maximize your body's natural capacity to heal itself. So we always incorporate touch, because touch is being increasingly studied for its health benefits, its healing benefits, to trigger the release of dopamine and oxytocin, the bonding hormone in your brain, to decrease your heart rate and your breath rate, and help ease feelings of anxiety and depression. So we always incorporate some touch via massage or some sort of bodywork treatment in our wellness retreats. We're always immersing ourselves in nature, which nature time is another area that is being increasingly studied for its healing capacity. So there's one study that shows that a 2-day vacation, it compares a 2-day vacation in an urban setting versus a 2-day vacation in a nature setting. And it measures T cells, which are the body's like immune cells, both before and after. And so not only did the 2-day vacation in a nature-based setting increase the amount of T cells in the body more so than the vacation in an urban setting, but that elevation in immune function was still measurable 2 months later. 2 months from simply 2 days in a nature-based setting. So we always incorporate nature into our retreats as well. We focus on relaxation too. And so my background as a massage therapist has taught me that so many people have unconscious tension that they hold in their bodies. Like, I'm working on someone's body, I pick up their arm to move it, and they're all of a sudden just giving me the stiff arm, and they're not even conscious that they're holding their arm in such a way. So I teach people how to consciously let go of the tension in their bodies. So because that energy then can be freed to heal yourself from the inside out. We always incorporate let's see, what are our other tenets of wellness? Silence. Silence is a big one because we do live in this world where there's just so much noise, so much stuff, information coming at us all of the time that even our mind, the term monkey mind comes to mind, where the mind is just kind of running away with us. And it's like, oh my God, just be quiet. So it's not only getting ourselves to a quiet external setting, but also finding a stillness and a silence in the mind. That's a big one. Movement, of course, and diet. Those are like the 2 big ones that are talked about in kind of just the health and wellness field in general. So, and movement doesn't have to be crazy exercise. So we do incorporate some yoga into our retreats, but it doesn't have to be these like, high intensity workouts that get the things in your body moving, that will help you be healthier. It's just simply moving, like pumping the fluids in your body from the inside out. And then diet, of course, we're always eating really good food. In our upcoming retreat in Hawaii, we've hired a local private chef.
Okay, when is it and what is that all about?
Yeah, so that's October 20th through 26th of this year, 2022. And we're incorporating all of these things that I've talked about, as well as we're doing some, of course, like local adventures. So one of the things that we're doing is taking some surfing lessons. We're taking a little snorkeling tour. We're doing a little beach hike to this amazing place called Rainbow Falls. So we're going to the Big Island in Hawaii, and we're going to be on the Kona side, for those of you that are familiar with the geography of the islands. But the thing that I'm most excited about, and that is a bucket list thing for me, is swimming with dolphins.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to jump into the ocean and just have this breathtaking experience of like, oh my gosh, these amazing creatures of the sea. so so yeah, that's the Hawaii retreat coming up.
And where can we find out more information about it?
Our website, integraltravel.com, has all of that's INTEGRAL travel.com. It has all the information about all our retreats. You can also, of course, follow us on social media. We're integral.travel on Facebook and Instagram.
Got it. Perfect. And by the way, you recently had a retreat as well. Could you share a little bit about that experience?
Oh, the mini retreat?
Yes.
Yeah. So we actually have one coming up in just a few days too. So I had to kind of scan my mind. But so we are incorporating these little half-day retreats for people in the local area around Boulder, Colorado, just to build more community here locally. And just giving people the opportunity to experience some of the wellness practices in just small bite-sized forms, because obviously not everybody has a couple $1,000s and can take a week off work in order to experience one of our retreats. So we're just offering more bite-sized experiences. And so for that one, that was a new moon mini retreat in June. And we had a yoga teacher slash herbalist take us on a little walk up through. I live at the edge of the national forest. And so we went from my house up on a little loop, like a half an hour loop, up into the national forest. And she was able to point out some of the local medicinal plants and what we can use them for. And we did some yoga on the trail, and I led the group in some qigong, it's like tai chi, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. And then we finished the experience with some essential oils to give some power to the intentions that we were setting for the coming lunar phase. So the moon cycle is a great way to just sort of like stay in touch with nature. And I know when you live in the city, it's really easy to sort of lose track of like what's happening in the sky. So again, living with nature as one of our tenets of wellness, living in harmony with nature. One of the easiest ways to do that is just to start to track the moon cycle and use the power of that phase to sort of, again, the new moon, to seed intentions for that coming cycle and to see them grow as the moon grows towards its fullness and towards its peak. Then also you might be able to see your intentions kind of growing and becoming more manifest in your life.
Oh,
So
wow. This is
yeah.
amazing. And let me ask you what brought you into this field, new listeners each and every week. Would you mind sharing?
Oh, it was sort of accidental, actually. I was bartending and had people kind of spilling their guts to me all the time and sharing with me their life stories, and all I could really do was listen at that time. So I was looking for some way to help people in a more tangible way, and massage school was on my list of options, as was yoga teacher training or going to grad school for transpersonal psychology. And massage school was just the thing that opened up for me overnight, literally overnight. I went to sit in on a class at the school that I had decided that I wanted to attend, and just to feel it out. And I met the owner, and in the moment I remember it like it was yesterday. I walked into the foyer of the school, and this short woman, like an elf, like a fairy, she turned around and our eyes met, and I could see literal like sparkles in the air, and it's just something clicked. And so I sat in on this class. They were in the fourth month of their 12-month program, and I decided I wanted to go to that school. And she said, okay, well, we have a program starting a year from now. And I was like, no, I want to start now. And I was able to convince her that I would catch up on all the schoolwork from the first 3 months of class. And so literally the next day I was enrolled as a student, and I did catch up on all of that, those first 4 months of homework in that first month that I was in the program. And
Wow.
that just started me. Massage
Mm-hmm.
school was it was like the gateway sort of healing art that introduced me into the whole world of healing arts and everything that's possible. And the relationship between the body and the mind and the emotions and the spirit, and how all of these layers of our being are so interrelated. And so it's not just a matter of healing the body, but you also have to address, emotional wounds and trauma and your stress and how that's affecting the functioning of your body as well as your relationships and everything else. So,
Got it. Wow. Well,
yeah.
it's exciting to have someone who believes, I'm such an hyper stressed. Well, I'm in a different stage in my life now with the two little kids and work and all, but
Wow.
I aspire to do a retreat to relax like this and the benefits. I mean, what are the benefits of this for so many people? Could you talk about it, some of their experiences?
Yeah, I mean, these retreats are life changing for people. But I would say that, particularly, for people like you, our audience is primarily like overworked, stressed out professionals who just need a break to unwind. And like I said, the benefits are life changing. I have a client who came on a retreat, let's see, in 2019, and she still maintained some of the positive changes that she made during that retreat in terms of changing the way that she eats, even having better boundaries with her family, like being able to say no, that being able to have a deeper relationship with her own inner needs and inner desires, and being able to honor that and put herself first when she found that her like reservoir from which she gives was running low or empty, even, that she was able to do what she needed to do for herself to refill that reservoir so that she did have this abundant place from which she was giving to her family. So that's a really inspiring story. We also have a woman who came on a retreat in 2018, and she had come to well, for a number of reasons, but she was also using the retreat to get clean from an addiction that she had to some pharmaceuticals at the time, to some painkillers. And while it presented some challenges, to say the least, on the retreat itself, she was able to make those positive changes and start to see herself in a different light. And because it's not just about these external practices of yoga and qigong and going through these motions and these activities, it's really about learning who you are and being able to honor yourself and the deeper calling of your spirit, to take care of yourself, and rather than just showing up and fulfilling your daily obligations to the rest of the world, it's like, okay, I need to take care of me first, and then I can
Mhm.
take care of everyone else. So, I like to say
Self-care.
that,
Yep.
yeah, I like to say that our retreats are, there's only one decision that you have to make, and that's to come on the retreat with us, and then we'll take care of everything else. Because in our lives we're doing so much like planning and shifting and making this decision and micro decisions everywhere we go, like what color this to have and what kind of food to order at the restaurant and what drink do we want, what clothes do we want to wear, and so sometimes planning a vacation can be exhausting. And even with the best intentions of kind of incorporating some of these practices into your vacation on your own, um, you don't always do it. You may be too tired to do it, or maybe you didn't plan properly, or maybe it was just like fell to the bottom of the to-do list, as self-care often does, and you're like, I just need a break from everything. So we take care of all those micro decisions. We plan an amazing adventure, and that includes the wellness practices that are going to rejuvenate you. It includes the local activities that are, what makes you want to go there in the first place. And it also includes plenty of free time too. So you're not just in this group of people the whole time feeling like, oh my God, I just want to be alone. We
What are some
definitely.
of the local activities in Hawaii? I want to know about that.
Yeah, yeah. So a hike on a beach. We're gonna go sit in some natural hot ponds. We're gonna drive around the island and go to this artisan market called Uncle Robert's Market, and we're going to take surfing lessons and just have a picnic on the beach. And as I mentioned earlier, the apex of the retreat, at least for me, is going to be the swimming with dolphins. which is going to be a
Uh-huh.
magical experience. Yeah.
That
And
is
this,
so cool.
yeah, this one we also timed around the new moon as well. So one of my old colleagues from about a decade ago here in Boulder moved out to Hawaii. So she's there on the ground as my local contact, and she's going to be helping like show us around and give us the inside scoop on all the cool things to do and the cool places to go. Um, and she had told me that the islands are like this vortex of energy because there's no like land for it to go out to. Everything gets swept and kind of swirled in the islands. So your thoughts, your wishes become manifest into reality faster than on the mainland. So we're going to kind of utilize that little energetic vortex in order to set some intentions for the new moon
Mm-hmm.
cycle and utilize some plant medicines in the way of essential oils to give power to those intentions so that we can be prepped for the next 28-day phase lunar cycle.
Great. And let's remind everyone how we could, I want to talk about that lunar cycle, what that is specifically. Tell us your website, best form of contact, email address, phone number, social media, all the above.
Yeah, integraltravel.com. That's INTEGRAL travel. Um, Facebook and Instagram, we're integral.travel. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. We have some really awesome little short videos on YouTube of just things that you can do to relieve pain in your life and to kind of get your energy moving. So check those out. The best email address is hello@integraltravel.com. Our phone number is 720-432-1554. So I think that's
Right. And now
all
what
the
is
contact.
the lunar cycle? Can you explain this to me?
Oh yeah, the lunar cycle is just how long it takes for the moon to make a full cycle from new moon to new moon. So it's 28 days from the time where there's like no moon in the sky, where it's completely shadowed by the Earth. That basically the Earth is right in between the sun and the moon in the sky, and so the Earth casts a shadow that covers up the moon, and it makes it dark. And then as that orientation between the sun and the moon and the earth starts to change, then you see the moon growing until it's full. And that's when, there's no earth, none of the earth is blocking the light from the sun to the moon. And then it recedes back down to a new moon. So that's a 28-day cycle. And interestingly, the sort of like normal in quotes menstrual cycle length of a menstrual cycle for a woman is also 28 days. So women in particular are inherently tied to the cycles of nature in this way. So it's a beautiful thing to kind of see those reflected in our own lives, and then again to kind of harness that power in a conscious way to bring more harmony into our bodies and minds and spirits.
Now, for someone who's listening here today or watching on the podcast, what are some of the things that we can just do right now at home? How can we ground, meditate? What are some tips for us to, is it the way we wake up? Is it our routine? Is it a daily ritual? What can we do to kind of just lose that stress and relax and
Yeah,
feel peaceful?
yeah. I would say
I'm asking
that
that question for me and
yeah.
everyone, but
Yeah, exactly. And like you're not the only one who needs an answer to that question. So I'm really glad you asked it. And it's not going to look the same for everyone. Unfortunately, I don't have like an answer that is like, this is what you need to do
yeah.
because everyone's different. However, I will say that mostly the best things that you can do are repeat the messaging that you want to hear, repeat to yourself, expose yourself to the messages that you want to believe. And if you don't believe them right now, that repeat exposure will sink in over time. It'll start to sink into your cells. It'll start to sink into your bones. It'll help you relax. And so when I say that, what I mean is like saying things to yourself like, I'm okay. Everything's okay. I'm doing the best that I can,
Yeah.
and I am enough. And so getting those messages repeated in your daily life can look like, writing an affirmation on the mirror so that you see that every time you look in the mirror when you're at home. They even sell little stickers right now with like on Etsy that you can put on your mirror. So you don't even have to write it. And you'll just see that message every single day. little sticky notes above your desk or in your car, surrounding yourself with the people that make you feel good and the people that give you those kinds of messages, listening to podcasts and audiobooks that fill you up, that give you a sense of spaciousness in your heart and your mind and your being, rather than like, you know, true crime thrillers or whatever, that a lot of times they're creating tension in our bodies that we're not
Yeah.
aware of. And while they may be fascinating, they're doing nothing for your mental health, so that's, one thing that you can do on a daily basis. Even to meditate more. Meditating doesn't have to be this like dreadful, onerous chore that you fit into your life. Meditating can be as simple as becoming aware of the air that's moving into your body and out of your body right now in this moment. So, yeah, Jill, let's do this. And anyone
Okay.
who's listening or watching, let's just take a minute, slow down, feel your feet, whether they're on the ground, whether you're in your car, just feel your feet and feel your sit bones. And then take a nice deep breath in. And just notice the sensation of the air as it comes into your body, and then let it out. Feel your body relax. And do that again. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let some tension go. One more time. One breath in. Long breath out. There you go. So that took 30 seconds maybe.
Yeah.
And that's a start. And if you do that once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, maybe do it at next time you're at a stoplight instead of, checking your
If
phone.
you're driving and true.
Yeah. 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 So that's just a really small thing that you can start to do on your own, to just make some positive changes in your life.
Now, you always wanted to be a teacher. Is that true?
I sort of, yeah. When I was a kid, I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a teacher, but that was like among the long rotating list of like, oh, I want to be a lawyer,
Yeah.
I want to be a marine biologist, I want to be this. But it always had been like what I imagined in my mind was like a teacher of kids in a school in sort of a traditional setting. But I have ended up being a teacher of adults in an adult learning setting, which is way more my speed, I think, than trying to vie for the attention of kids who would rather be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I get to teach adults who are excited to be learning what I have to offer them, and so who are engaged in the process and have some life experience. I don't have to be a parent to them at the same time as being their teacher, and I just get to guide them on this self-exploratory journey, as well as this journey of learning, just deeper interrelationships between body, mind, and spirit. So, oh, and actually, in that regard, you had mentioned in the very beginning that I do one-on-ones, and so I did just want to touch into that. I do one-on-one health coaching with folks, to help them make positive changes in their lives in whatever aspect it needs to be, from diet, from exercising more, just positive encouragement, and it's just like an accountability partner.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of my offerings as well.
No, wonderful. And what else do you want to share with us today about you and your company?
Um, well, we're just passionate about what we do, and I think that goes a long way in the world. So come check us out. Check out our retreats. We have a lot of free offerings on the website too. We have a whole guided suite. We have a suite of recorded guided meditations. So for anyone who finds it difficult to slow down their mind and slow down their body just on your own, in a quiet room or even with music, it helps to sometimes have those verbal cues, just like we did a few moments ago. You can go to the website and download those. We also have some recorded online classes that you can start to just dip your toe into what is qigong. We have some guided cleanses that it's all automated. You can do it at your own time. So whatever area of your life that you need assistance and help in, we probably have something to address that.
Yes. Oh, wonderful. And, as far as other companies out there, what would you say makes you stand out, makes you so unique?
Well, we stand out among retreat companies in sort of some behind the scenes ways. Insofar as we pay our retreat leaders fair wages and make it a viable career for them. So a lot of retreat companies just promise their retreat leaders like a free retreat, but I believe that that's not a sustainable career for people, and it doesn't support them paying bills back home. Like, you can't live your life and fulfill your obligations and set yourself up for retirement on free vacations or free retreats all the time.
Perfect.
So yeah, so we pay our retreat leaders fair wages. We engage in sustainable travel, so offsetting the environmental footprint of all of our guests with carbon offsets, and we print everything on recycled paper and try to do as much stuff as digitally as possible. And we offer transformational travel experiences as well, as opposed to just sort of a
Oh, let's talk about those later if we can. Unfortunately, we're out
yeah,
of
yeah.
time for the show today, but ooh, that sounds fancy.
Yeah, let's get into that next time.
All right, sounds like a plan. Thank you. Let's also remind everyone how we can reach you in the meantime.
Integraltravel.com, INTEGRAL.com, and on Facebook and Instagram, integral.travel.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You have a great day. And to all our
Thanks, Jill.
listeners, stay tuned. More of the show is on the way.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.